Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Ruby, this is Ruby Red, and this is the start, oh my god, the bugs. This is the start of my Squash That Series vlog. I'm so excited. If you've never heard about Squash That Series before, it's a readathon hosted, created by my friend Bailey from Is Bailey Reading. I will link her most recent announcement video down below, as well as the Discord. Why not? We have a lot of fun in the Discord for this readathon. It happens twice a year, and the aim is to read your series. And every round is a different sort of game, and they are different degrees of competitive. This one is on the less competitive side, which I think is great because of where I'm at right now as a reader. I am in a reading slump. So my goal for this round is to forcibly remove myself from that reading slump. And the way I'm going to do that is just by really dedicating myself to just like read the book and read many different book. Back up. The way that this readathon is going to work this round, it's 4 days. There are spinner wheels. There's easy mode and hard mode. Each mode has 8 spinner wheels. I'm doing easy mode. And there are 8 different wheels. Each wheel has a different sort of theme. So there's like a page number wheel, and the options on that wheel are like under 200 pages, 200 to 300 pages, 300 to 400 pages. You see? And so you spin the wheel and then read a book that fits into that, whatever it gives you. And Bailey did outline like a general way that it's intended to be played, but it's a version that is not person-to-person competitive. Like, you're only competing with yourself to see how much you can read or whatever. So it's sort of like if you want to twist the rules and the prompts to suit like what's going to have you reading the most or whatever, or feeling like you're winning the most, go ahead and do that. And I do appreciate the rules normally, but I'm in a spot with my series right now where there's just like a lot of book ones I want to reread, and that's not always allowed during Squash That Series regular rounds, or not regular rounds, but like other rounds. And I just don't have a ton of series, so I kind of want to like start some new ones so that I have more options for the more intense rounds. So I'm going to be flexing the rules here to sort of suit my series situation. And I think that's fine because it's not hurting anyone, and it's how I'm going to have the best time. The most productive series reading time. So what I've decided to do, sort of inspired by something Bailey said that she might do, but I'm not going to say it in case she doesn't do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin, I want to spin all 8 wheels, but I know I'm not going to read 8 books. So since the readathon is 4 days long, I'm going to pick 4 books. And each day I'm going to pull out 2 little crumpled pieces of paper from the picker wheel picker. These are just numbered 1 through 8. And whatever 2 papers I pick out are the 2 wheels that I'll spin. And then for that day, I'm going to pick a book to read that fits both prompts selected by those wheels. And this way I'll get to spin all the wheels at least once, and I will start 4 books. So whatever happens on day 1, however far into my first book I get, day 2, I'm starting another book. So will I be finishing anything in this 4-day period? No, probably not. Maybe I will, but depends. But that's not the goal. The goal is to start and to just like to get reading, you know? So that's my plan. I do also, I prepped for this by making a spreadsheet, and I put on one side of the spreadsheet, I put all of the prompts for all the wheels grouped by wheel. And then across the top, I put all of the series, and then I went through those series to find out like where I'm at, what's the next book that I would have to read, or is it the first book again? And then I filled out which wheel options it fulfills. So I can see at a glance how many options I have for each of the wheel options, how many books on my TBR there are that could fulfill anything I spin, and also how many spins every book on my TBR fulfills. Yeah, I've used that spreadsheet to help me sort of prioritize my holds. I did place a bunch of holds, but also a lot of them like don't have a hold, so I just have checked out some random stuff, and some stuff I might not get in time, and it's whatever. If there's nothing I can read that fulfills the prompts, like I will just spin one of the wheels again. It seems unlikely. So Okay, that's the full plan. I did the spreadsheet. That was overkill, but it made me feel more prepared. I've got the picker wheel picker cup and I've got the wheels. So I don't think I want to pick until it's happening. So yeah, I don't want to give myself to like dread the book. So I'll see you tomorrow morning to pick our book. Okay, I know what I just said, literally just. And then I took a shower and now I'm changing my mind. I want to pick my wheels and I want to pick my book and I want to know. Okay, so I'm mixing these little papers up and here's our first wheel. Oops. It's wheel number 4, which is placement. And then the next one will be this one. Ooh, which is, can you see that? Wheel number 1, which is page numbers. So let me open the wheels. Okay, so wheel number 4 only has 3 prompts on it. Let me record my screen. Okay, wheel number 4 only has 3 prompts. Read a sequel, start a series, or finish a series. So I kind of am hoping for start a series, but let's see what we get. Okay, read a sequel. Got it. Read a sequel. And now let's look at our other wheel, which is the page number wheel. We have under 200, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, and 4 to 5. This is handy because I think I had at least one book that is exactly 400 pages, so it fits into 2 categories. Kind of exciting. Let's spin. Oh no. Under 200 pages. Okay. I'm concerned. Let's go to the spreadsheet. Okay, looking at my spreadsheet, there are 5 books that I have on here that are under 200 pages, which is actually way more than I thought there was going to be. Let's see what they are. I have Annihilation, the next book in the Singing Hills cycle, the next Wayward Children book, which is the dinosaur one that just came out. Oh, the next Monk and Robot book, which is A Prayer for the Crown Shy, and then the Singing Hills book after that. That one I had to put a hold on, whereas the next one I didn't, so I have both of those for reading in this. Okay, so those are my options for that. Now let's see which of those is read a sequel. So not Annihilation, yes to Singing Hills, that's probably what I'm gonna do, or Wayward Children. Monk and Robot will be finishing a series, so it's Wayward Children or the Singing Hills, the next Singing Hills book. And maybe this is where I'm gonna pause and just know that like one of those, either Mammoths at the Gates or Mislaid in Parts Half Known. I have both of those on Kindle, so what a fruitful and fortuitous first spin, because actually I could 100% finish either of these books on the first day. They're under 200 pages. I know that the Singing Hills books and the Wayward Children book, they both read really fast. Like most books under 200 pages, but anyway, I'm feeling excited about this. If I finish the book, hold on, let's wait till I am like reading the book before I talk about what I'm gonna do if I finish the book. Ruby. Okay, exciting. I think I'm gonna read Mammoths at the Gates. Right now, that's where I'm leaning, because I just read a different Nevo book that I really loved. It was like a standalone that has not come out yet, called The City in Glass, and I love it, so I think I'd like to read more of her writing. Okay, happy squash that series. These FedEx drivers are crazy. A truck just pulled in, there's a little turnaround that I can just see from my perch on this swing, and a driver just like zoomed into it, whipped around, and then zoomed back down the hill. Oh my god. Hi, good morning, happy squash that series. I'm sitting on a swing and I've perched my phone very precariously, so apologies for any motion sickness. I'm gonna try to stay still, and I don't have my mic, so hopefully the wind isn't that bad. Okay, so last night I was deciding between two books. I decided to put up a poll in the Squash That Series Discord because I'm also trying to fulfill as many prompts for Tales from Two Trails as I can, and one of those is poll pick. And there's also series prompts for that situation, but I just wanted to cover all my bases. So anyway, I was like, this will be fun little poll. So I put up a poll, and Mislaid in Parts Half Known One, which is the 9th book in the Wayward Children series, which is not the end of the series. There is, I know, at least one more that's coming. So I was like, okay, it was close. For a while, they were neck and neck, but then this morning, definitively, one of them had 6 or 5, one of them had 7 votes. So whatever. I started it. I'm actually more than halfway done. So the Wayward Children series is, of course, a well-known and beloved series of books about children who go through magical doors into other worlds and then generally like come back to Earth and have to sort of deal with the repercussions of what's going on, and they tend to all gather around Eleanor West's home for wayward children, or whatever, school for wayward children. Doesn't matter. This book is about a girl we met in the book before. Her name is Antsy, and she basically aged, like her body aged faster than herself. So she is like a 9-year-old stuck in the body of like a 13-year-old. She also, I don't know, that aging situation is very interesting choice in relation to some of the trauma that led her to her door in the first place. I think that's like very something about that. Anyway, what's going on in the book is that Antsy has come to Eleanor's home, and then somebody tried to force her to find their door because she can find anything that's been lost. And that seems to be like the plot. It's just like running away. When will Cade get his own book? Because he's the best one. He's the person, first of all, in that whole school who has the most brain power, okay? He's the only one thinking about things. And he likes to sew, and he was like a goblin warrior or something. Like, Cade's book, please. I'm humbly demanding that my favorite wayward child get a book. He's been a main player in many of the books, but I want his book. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm like 2/3 done with the book already. I've been listening to the audiobook, and I'm honestly gonna finish it in the next like hour or so because I have some computer work to do that I can listen to an audiobook for, and I've also been doing laundry. So things are going great. And I was planning kind of to do my second spins live during Bailey's reading sprints tonight, but now I'm sort of thinking I'm gonna have to do them before then. Like, as soon as I finish this book, I'm gonna be spinning again. And when I do spin, I guess I'll say there's 2 books that I would really like to get to, or that I'd like to get on the wheels, from the wheels? What am I saying? Mad Ship. I am 3/4 of the way done, which means I have only about 250 pages left. And I'd like to fit that into a prompt and finish that in this vlog. Because yeah, I've been reading it for most of August, to be honest, and I don't know. I haven't been in a great reading mood if you saw my last vlog where I didn't read anything. And then I also got The Wilds by Sarah Pierce from the library because I read The Sanatorium and The Retreat by her. It's a series. This is Squash That Series. I read those 2 with a couple of buddies, Bailey and Martine and Kayla, I think. Is that it? I don't remember. Anyway, I got it from the library because the holds were so long, so that's my other physical possibility. I have a couple of owned book 1s and sequels also. So okay, I'm gonna go back to work, back to my audiobook, and yeah, this is good because I'm gonna have to go to work tomorrow, and that's gonna take up a lot of my reading time. And then my mom is potentially going to meet me after work with Connor and we're all gonna go out to dinner. So I'm only gonna be able to read really in the morning tomorrow. So if I can get started on my second of 4 books today, that's good. This has been an update, too long update, sorry, goodbye. Okay, perfect timing. Ignore everything that's happening behind me. I finished Mislaid and Parts Half Known and I gave it 3 stars. I think more than like any of the other, as far as I remember, like I feel like they're not generally in that series like direct sequels. Like previous book events are always mentioned in the book, but even in one case I read 2 books in the wrong order and I didn't notice. Whereas in this book I feel like it was a continuation of the story from Lost in the Moment and Found, which was a really hard read for me, honestly. Like everybody who sorry, Connor's doing demolition outside. Everyone who says like that's their favorite 5-star best book, like those people are not okay, and I stand by that. Anyway, I give this 3 stars. I thought it was good. It's fine. It's not my favorite. I don't love the Shop of Lost Things or whatever, and that plays a part in this book. They do visit some other worlds that I was intrigued by, but whatever. I'm glad Cade was there. And the little whatever happened at the end of this book that sort of hints at what's gonna be the focus for the next book, I'm really excited about, because I think it's gonna be about a character that I do really like. So that's that. That's a wrap on book 1. So now I've taken, these are the 2 that I already pulled. Here's my picker wheel picker cup. And I'm gonna pick 2 more wheels to spin, and then I'm gonna spin 2 more wheels, and I'm gonna pick my next book. It's early. It's literally not even 1:30 on Thursday. What an amazing start. Okay, here's the first one. Sorry, I wrote this in impossible to read green, light green highlighter. This is wheel number 6, Length. That is wheel number 3, Colors. So let's spin. Okay, screen recording is up. So first we have Length. This is referring to the length of the series. So it's a duology, a trilogy, or a quartet. Those are the only 3 options for easy mode, which is what I'm doing. Okay. Trilogy. I think that's good because I think I mostly have trilogies. Okay, now let's check out the color wheel. So for easy mode, color is just, the color is on the cover. It doesn't have to be the main color, it just has to be there. So a book in a trilogy with what color on the cover? Yellow. Yellow. Okay, so I took out Wayward Children from my series spreadsheet because, from my Squash That Series spreadsheet because the next book I cannot read because it's not out yet. And I did request an ARC. Anyway, so the length, we got trilogy. So there's 6 options for that. I could read Broken Earth. I could read the second book in the Clandestine Affairs. If I read Broken Earth, I would be starting the first one again. The Greenbone Saga, I could finish Jade whatever, or I could start Emily Wilde or The Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett, which I do think I have a hold for, or I could start Delilah Green. Doesn't care. But the color, what is the color? Yellow. Where do they have crossover? Okay. Nope, never mind. Oh, gosh darn it. Okay. I could read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies, which is a book 1. but it is part of a trilogy. Or I could read the first book in the Tainted Cup series. So I'm gonna check to see if I have a hold for that. But I think Emily Wilde, I mean, I own that book and I do want to read it. So I'm gonna see if I can get Tainted Cup first of all, because I think I had a hold, but I don't know what's up with that. So I'm gonna figure some things out and be right back. My hold for the Tainted Cup lapsed. I have had a hold for that book basically since it was published, and I just kept pushing it because I was just like, this is not the moment for me to read this, and I guess I did it too many times or something, so Libby was like, never mind. So now it's back to like a 17-week wait or whatever. Which I still might get like a skip the line. I get skip lines a lot from the LAPL, but yeah, for now, this is my book. Yay! Here she is, and that's yellow. So this is my book. Okay, I've got gloves and some pruners, and I'm heading over to my garden. I have a deep sense of foreboding about the number of zucchini that are going to be way too big to eat at this point. And I also just want to like trim some of this stuff back. I had a lot of problems in our garden this year. Not problems, but just, you know, this is our first garden, vegetable garden, and like some weeds started growing that I just let grow because I was like, what's that? We'll find out. And the squash really took over, as they do, and I found this on the web. So this is my it's like 4x9 foot bed. As you can see, it's like bursting out of its little slight amount of animal proofing. Yeah, so I'm just gonna like trim some of this up and see if I can't find any goodies. Okay, here's something. There's like a big hole right here. Like, it doesn't look like that. You can see the inside. And I believe that was from a deer just leaning over this little fence. The fence really we put up because of groundhogs. So obviously the deer can eat over it, but it's like they have all this. Why do they want to eat squash? I guess the same reason I do. Okay, these are the two zucchini I got. This one is like just on this side of like slightly bigger than I'd prefer, but it'll still be fine. We'll still eat that. But this one is not gonna be good once they get this big. They're just like all seed, and the texture is just so foamy. So this I will, honestly, maybe I should have left it and then we could have had seeds for next year. I'm just gonna toss it into the woods, and I have to do something about the tomatoes. Okay, it looks probably maybe the same to you, but I took out a whole bunch of this plant borage. Because it flopped over, it's just growing like a vine, and we're just growing it for like pollinator purposes, like just for the bees. So in this extremely crowded garden bed, which like you can see, like that little purple thing is a little bit of kohlrabi trying to grow, and there's some Swiss chard that's still like pretending to grow over there. But this is all zucchini. We had 2 zucchini plants that like fully took over. So now here you can see these are some of my tomatoes. This is just like fully laying down, and then there's like a mess of a tomato plant here also. And then more of the borage, this little purple flower. They're honestly very beautiful. But yeah, I need to put some tomato cages up, which Connor, like a week ago, was like, we need to get those tomato cages up. I didn't think they were growing, to be totally honest. There's basil over there too. It's poking out the side. That's the garden. I do love how green everything in here is, and I'm excited to try to get these tomatoes. Like, this is just like a tomato vine, with nothing to hold it up. So hoping to get something to hold it up, and also without like putting it directly into the deer's path. But yeah, there's a bunch of zucchini. I'm gonna have to keep checking out here every day because yeah. I hope you enjoyed that brief gardening interlude. I know I did. And then I'm gonna carry on reading. I actually don't think I've talked about what book I picked is about. It's Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies by Emily Fawcett is the first book in what I believe is just a trilogy, because that's what I landed on, so I hope that's true. As far as I know, that's true. And it's like it's set in 1909 or something, and it's about this woman who is like an academic scholar of fairies and has traveled to this desolate island up by like Sweden to study their fairies there to finish out the work that she needs to do for her encyclopedia. And I think she has like a little bit of like an academic rival, another guy who studies fairies, and I think they end up having like a little romance. That's literally all that I know about the book. And it's sort of written like it's her journal, which I love. So that's that. All right, team, it is bedtime. Day 2 of Squash That series. It's day 1. Day 1 of Squash That series was a huge hit for me. I'm so happy that I got all my stuff done so that I could just have fun reading today, although I did do some work. And I just got off of reading sprints with Bailey, and Martine and Lizzie was there, and we read for so long, and I'm reading basically a page per minute in this book, so I could easily tell that I was like keeping a good pace throughout all of our sprints. I'm more than halfway done. I have like 140 pages left. That was so hard. I have about 140 pages left of this, and this is book 2, but it's day 1 still. So tomorrow I'm not going to just pull new spinner wheels because I pulled my day 2 spinner wheel picks already. So I won't pick again until the next morning or until I finish this. I'm really struggling to wrap my head around that because today feels like it was so many days. Anyway, I really like this book. I think it's so fun and cute. It's basically my interpretation of it at this point. So we're following Emily Wilde. She is a very serious scholar. She takes her work very seriously, and she's not really a people person. And so the people element of like getting to know the townsfolk and being like likable are like not her priority. She's just not like that interested in that. She just wants to do her work, write her encyclopedia. She's very, wants to get her name out there, her reputation. She has a lot to say about the academic landscape in her field and who earns what accolades and stuff, and a lot of that makes its way into the footnotes of her journal entries, which this is her journal. Like it's very cute, and I love that about her. And I said he was an academic rival. Also, his name is, does it say on the back? I forget. Wendell Bambleby, but I call him Brambleby. I can't help it. It just feels right. So Wendell is not necessarily an academic rival. They're co-workers. I guess he's like has like he's tenured or something at Cambridge, and she's not. So he is like further ahead of her academically and like career-wise. And he also works in the field. But he seems to just like her. He thinks she's like kind of funny, and he seems to have a fondness for her and to find her like mannerisms, which are off-putting to everyone else. Like he's a little bit endeared by them. And so she takes off on this research trip to some far-flung island, and he like appears. He shows up to help, and he does have a reason to be there, and it's something that will honestly like very much benefit her as well, his proposal, but that's neither here nor there. I'm not going to say too much of like what they get into, but it is very much she's walking around getting to know different types of fairies in this area and sort of musing on how they're connected to like other fairies, and she wonders about these interactions and talks about these ways to like thwart their illusions, and all of that's very cute and fun. And it's not, you know, the no stakes or extremely low stakes that you would expect from a cozy fantasy necessarily. Things did get pretty intense, and I'm only in the middle. But yeah, I find Wendell to be very funny. She has this enormous dog, Shadow, who I love. And I like her. So really, it's all looking good. I'm really enjoying it. My main complaint is just that the author used the word sundry like several times early on in the book. I was like, nobody uses the word sundries this much, so you need to cut back. And she did cut back after that. I haven't read that word in quite a while. So yeah, I had a great time reading. I have work tomorrow, and I did end up picking up also a shift on Saturday, so I'm not really gonna hang out with my mom is one thing. But also I'm not gonna have as much time to read on Saturday, but that's fine considering how much I read today. Like, I feel great. So tomorrow I'll just keep reading this. Thank you for coming to this vlog. All right, here I am, perched on my swing again. It's the right amount of shade right now for me to film this. So here I am. I finished Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies this morning. It's still morning. I can't believe it. It's the second day and I finished 2 books already. This book was a quick read. It was a delight. It was funny. It was charming. I really liked it, and I'm definitely looking forward to reading the rest of them. I think that the duo in this has the potential to be just like very, very fun to read. So, I mean, because it wasn't this. I just mean I think it'll continue to be fun to read. They're dynamic. Yeah. It was very, like I said, stakes did get quite high in this. Like, things got kind of intense, but it still overall was just like very lovely. Great book. Okay. I haven't really decided on a rating yet. I don't think I will for some time. I'd like to stew. But I'd also like to pick my next reads. So I guess I'm going to pick my wheel picker. There's only 4 little papers in here. I'm going to pick 2 out, and then we'll go inside to do the wheels. Okay. The first one. The first wheel we're going to spin for book 3. Is wheel 8, random. So the deal with this is that I think the intention for wheel 8 was to put like a bunch, like a number, I don't know how many, random of your series that you're like working on, or that you whatever, puts a bunch of series onto the wheel and spin that, and then that picks. But I think what I'm gonna do is, depending on what we pull out for our next wheel, however many books, here's what we're gonna pick for our next wheel, however many books I have that I can get hold of that fulfill this prompt, that whatever prompt we spin for this wheel, I'll randomize those in a wheel. You'll see it when it happens. Okay. What is that? 7. Time on TBR. Okay, so this is the one that I don't know. I know Bailey said like what that means, like, but I don't remember what she said. But what I took it as is how long the series has been on my TBR, not how long since I last read from that series. Like, which series have I started the longest ago? So it's like the one that I've been working on the longest. And the 2 I know that are the oldest are the Area X trilogy, which just became a quartet, because I read Annihilation ages and ages ago and I never read any of the others, and I'd like to reread Annihilation. And then also the Broken Earth trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. I read the first book again, like a long time ago, loved. And then I listened to the second one on audio and I was like, I didn't like this at all. What the heck? But I don't remember a single thing about the second one. And I remember a lot of like stuff that I loved in the first one. So I kind of want to just start over and like hope that I was just in the wrong space to read that second one, because I never picked the third one up and I really want to finish the series. Okay. That's the two oldest on my TBR. You don't really need to know that because I don't know if that's the time frame that I'm going to spin, but I'm going to collect myself and go spin wheel number 7 and then randomize what my options are for that. I hope I have options. Okay, here I am. I'm recording my spin. The options for this are 3+ years, 1 to 3 years, 6 months to a year, and then in the last 6 months. Let's get our answer here. Okay. 6 months to 1 year is our time frame. So, Clandestine Affairs, that's historical romance. Greenbone Saga, that's Jade Legacy, which I might be able to get the audiobook from Hoopla. Green Creek, that's Ravensong, which I know I'm not anywhere close to getting the holds for that. So that one, I'll check if it's on Hoopla, but that one I probably can't do. And then Monk and Robot, which I have. So I'm gonna just quickly check. Clandestine Affairs is on the wheel. Monk and Robot is on the wheel. The Tainted Cup, well, as soon as I opened Libby, what did I just say yesterday? Was that the LAPL comes through with skip the lines all the time. So I literally, that book that I couldn't get for yesterday, I can get today. So I got it, and if I'm in Kindle jail forever now, that's fine. But I have that. And I have Monk and Robot. I couldn't get Ravensong anywhere, but I could get the Greenbone Saga, Jade Legacy on Spotify. So that's a 28.5-hour audiobook. It's not really what I want right now, but I have 4 options in my wheel that I'm gonna spin, and I'm so scared. I'm scared to look. Whoa. Monk and Robot, that's awesome. I can't believe I'm gonna fulfill all the wheels at this rate. So I'm going to start that book. Maybe I won't start it right now. I'm speechless.
That's a thought coming through.
What was that?
Thought coming through.
Here's my stinky dog. Today while I was at work, Carbon rolled in an unknowable substance. An unknown amount of an unknowable substance. Anyway, he's crusty and he smells extremely bad, so he's getting hosed down outside like the little menace he is. Yeah, right. All right, I just got home. I had honestly such a good day at work. Again, my first day of work, my reaction to that was in my vlog from last week where I didn't read, which I'm reading now. Okay. Work was great. It was pretty slow. I worked with a new coworker and also with my boss. So that was nice to like just see some more people getting stuff done, met some more regulars, all that. The main thing that I'm feeling good about is I sort of hosted an event today, which is a regular meetup of the knitting group. And there's like 3 main people who seem to always come, and then maybe some other people like show up sporadically. And the woman who normally runs it, well, me and her are gonna split running it. Like we're each gonna hang out with them for half of their meeting time. Anyway, she was out today, so I was like, it's fine, I can do it. And I was kind of like a little bit nervous because I was like, what am I doing here? You know, like I'm not teaching a class. I'm just sitting at the table while everybody is doing their thing. And I have my crochet project, but I just was like worried I was going to feel like, what's the point of me being here? Like I'm supposed to be working, and instead I'm sitting at this table, like knitting and gossiping. But then, I mean, for the first half of it almost, 2 of like the main people, in the group were working very closely on a complication in one of their knitting projects, because one of them is a very experienced knitter and was sort of like had been helping this woman through her project like every week. So they were sort of doing that, and I didn't really have anything to add to that. I'm not a very experienced knitter, so I was just there hanging out. But then somebody else came in who had only been to one before, but like not the one that I was at last week. Like a few weeks ago she came, and she came back, and she was very quiet and a little bit shy, and I was like, oh, that's why I'm here, to like facilitate like welcoming. Like I was like, these two are very in their thing, they're working very closely together, and this woman is not a very experienced knitter either, she just wants to hang out. And so I was like, that's why I'm here, so that I can make sure that everyone feels welcomed, because there was one other person came who was very nice, but I just was like making a strong effort to really make this kind of shy person feel comfortable hanging out. And I was just chatting with her and making sure that she had a good time at the knitting group, and I think she did. And she said she doesn't think she can come next week, but maybe the one after that, whatever. Anyway, I was really glad to be there for that, and to be able to be like, right, that's why I'm here. I'm facilitating. I am creating a welcoming environment for knitting community members to come together and hang out, and everybody feels welcome. So work was good. And then afterwards I met up with Connor and my mom at a brewery that has really good food, so we had dinner there. And then we came home, and when we came home we had to give Carbon a bath, because right before Connor left to come meet us for dinner, Carbon ran outside. There was like a dozen turkeys in the yard. Carbon chased them all away, rolled in something unspeakably foul, and then came back inside. And Connor didn't really realize exactly what happened right away, and then did realize and was like, well, I'm about to leave to go to dinner, so bye. So we just left him here in his filth. I'm sure he was really happy though. But yeah, then we came home and he was really stinky and like gross. So he got a bath. And I obviously didn't read anything while I was at work. I didn't read anything since getting back and bathing the dog. My mom is staying the night, and I have work again in the morning, so I'm gonna read however much I read tonight before bed, and then I doubt I'll read anything in the morning. I'm just gonna go to work, and then after work I'm gonna read. So yeah, I haven't started my new book, Prayer for the Crown Shy. I did pull it off the bookshelf though, so at least there's that. Anyway, thanks for listening to my update. Good morning. Happy third day of Wonderthon. Oh my god, happy third day of Squash That series. Whoa, jump scare, sorry. I just got in my car and I'm heading to work, but I just wanted to pop in and say I did read last night. I read about half of A Prayer for the Crown Shy, which is the second book in the Monk and Robot series, and it's sort of like this solar punk kind of sci-fi where all of the machines, the robots that humans had been using on this like planet, or I don't know if it's really Earth or not or whatever, but developed consciousness and left. They all like wandered out into the woods and left humanity to like deal with the fallout basically, and that resulted in like humans having like a revolution, and now everything is biodegradable is the basics. But the first book we follow sibling Dex, who is a monk, and they travel around and they end up encountering a robot, and no humans have had contact with robots in hundreds of years or something. So the two of them kind of become friends, and they do a little bit of adventuring together in the first book, and now in the sequel they are venturing into the human worlds, and Mosscap wants to meet humans and find out what they need. And it's got just a lot of like philosophical stuff about, the first one was more about like the meaning of life, like purpose and having a calling, I guess. And this one seems to be more about like consciousness and like what does it mean to be alive? What does it mean to be human? Anyway, they're just very short, sweet books that just like, that just think about things. They're not necessarily I don't know. Some moments like might feel quite deep depending on like what you're going through, I think. But overall, I think they are just, you know, they're cute little cozy-ish. It is cozy, I think, technically. And it also, yeah, they give me a warm feeling, okay? So anyway, I'm halfway through that and I'm enjoying it. It's peaceful, it's quiet, it's nice. And I'm going to work. I'm not gonna film while I'm driving. Okay, home from work. Another good day, honestly. Had a great time. And now me and Danielle and whoever else in the Discord, but Danielle said she wanted to do some serious reading tonight, so it's not tonight yet. It's barely 4 o'clock. I'm actually having a coffee. That's how much it's not tonight. And I am basically halfway done with this blank book. A Prayer for the Crown Shy. I don't have the cover over here, sorry. But hoping to finish it, like, right away. I'm gonna just read it and then it'll be done. And then we'll pick our final book. And the problem that we are now encountering is I'm only gonna pick one more book for this. And there's 2 more books that I wanted to read for this. I wanted to get to The Wilds and I wanted to get to Madship. So, interesting. Okay. Hi. I just sat down. I'm gonna eat my dinner. It's like a beautiful little stir fry that I just made with some of our homegrown zucchini. And I finished a book. So I just wanted to share that I finished A Prayer for the Crown Shy. This was really good. This duology I think is very sweet and cute, but I think that some of the discussions and like little nuggets from this book were more, I don't know, affected me more or were more impactful to me than the first book, honestly. And actually the Crown Shy part, when they get to when there's a moment in this when they're talking about crown shyness in trees where their leaves don't totally touch. That little scene, I just felt like floored by it and I don't really understand why that was, but I really liked it. Great book. So pleased. I liked it better than the first one. Yay. So now it's only Saturday night. I have lots of reading time left tonight and I have to pick my final probably book. My 4th book. And I'm not going to pick out of the wheel picker because there's only 2 left. That is wheel 2 and wheel 5. So let me get wheel 2 and wheel 5 up. That is average rating and number of ratings. So both the ratings ones, which is kind of interesting. Okay, ready? Let's spin. The average rating wheel. Oh, we got pretty high. That's good. 3.75 to 3.94. 3.75 to 3.94. Oh, that's actually one of the lower ones. Interesting. I mean, that's still good. Whatever, let's spin the next wheel. Okay, 50K to 200K. I don't know what that means for me. 50K to 200K. Okay, we've got options for both of them. No, but only one option. Shoot, only one option that fills both prompts. That's annoying. Because I don't really want to read that book. Like, it's on here as a last resort. I just read the first one. It's like the Aaron Falk Mysteries. I just read The Dry for 2 Trails. And it was fine. But another book that is in that 3.75. Okay, maybe I'm gonna pick... I might pick 2 books? Hold on. The 3.75 to 3.94, I can read The Wild for that, which I have and I'd like to read. And then I'll have still The Wheel of Ratings. The next Elin Warner book, The Wild, doesn't have very many ratings. Oh no, okay, but Madship does have the appropriate number of ratings. Okay, I'm gonna pick 2 books for my last 2 spins. I'm gonna finish Madship, and I'm going to read The Wild. And then those are the 2 books that I wanted to get to that I hadn't gotten to yet, and they fit these, so. All right, it has been raining basically all day, and now the mountains are all misty, and the sky is so blue, blue, blue. And the sun hitting those clouds is just like, it's so spectacular. Wow. Good morning. Happy final day of Squash That series. I don't know. I only read about 40 pages of this last night, The Wilds, and I didn't crack open Madship at all. And this morning, I really, in my head, planned to, like, read as much of this as I could and then read Madship for sprints, which sprints are going to happen in about an hour. So I'm going to try to read a little bit before sprints. And Connor went to the grocery store. I really also intended to clean the kitchen before they got home, but then I took a really long shower. It felt really good. I just had, like, I was feeling very sore yesterday. I didn't realize how sore until I, like, laid down. So I think I just slept bad the night before that. And so then, I don't know, it was hard for me to fall asleep last night, and I just, whatever. I'm feeling lazy. But I'm going to do what I can in the kitchen before sprints start. Even though I just said I was going to read before sprints, I'm not going to. I'm going to clean the kitchen for Connor, who's going to cook us dinner for today and also for the next, like, 2 days, and maybe make brownies. I don't know if that's real or if that was a joke. But that's what's happening. It also was so cold this morning. I just was not ready to face the day. But I did it. I'm here now. Let's go. Hello. Good evening. I'm not wearing a watch. It's Sunday night. I had so much fun doing reading sprints today with Bailey and Amanda and Lizzie and Danielle, and everybody in the chat. And I totally forgot to be vlogging, although, I mean, I was just laying on the couch for hours. And while I was doing that, Connor made us dinner for tonight when we have leftovers for tomorrow, and Connor also made us a huge bucket of curry to have for the next couple of days too. Like, we're not gonna have to cook again this week, which was so nice. And then after the reading sprints, I helped Connor dye their hair blue. So reveal of the blue hair to come maybe later. For now, I'm 3/4 maybe done with The Wilds, and I've really been enjoying this actually a lot more than either of the others. And I'm trying to put my finger on why. I mean, part of it is, like, maybe I'm just, like, I've let go, I'm just having fun. But also, okay, we're following Detective Ellen Warner. Before the first book in this series, The Sanatorium, before that happened, she had, like, a breakdown. She had a case that just, like, really got to her. Like, something happened. And I don't think you ever really, like, find out what. But she is, like, unstable now because of that, and that sort of, like, leads her into the events of the first 2 books, and also this one, but, like, less so this one. This one still is, like, a little bit of, she's still not, I mean, she's still not, like, totally fine, but is that because of that original case that went wrong, or is it because of the events of the first 2 books, you know what I mean? She is acting in an unofficial capacity, I think, in all of them. In this one, she's traveled to Portugal. She's, like, trying to sort of, like, have a little R&R and instead discovers this situation related to, like, a mysteriously missing woman. But we're also getting the POV of that woman a few years previous, and sort of, like, her relationship at the time and her situation, and like, what is kind of maybe going to be leading up to, like, now when the detective is, like, snooping around. I don't want to say too much, obviously, but the thing that's really good about that is the totally different perspectives. We have Kier and Ellen, and Kier I don't know if that's how you say her name. I'll be so real with you. We're getting those two perspectives and they're so snappy. They're so fast. So you're constantly moving back. Like every 3 or 4 pages is a new chapter and a new perspective. They alternate and it's just like, it's really fun. It's really snappy. Yeah, it's fun and it builds suspense. And sometimes when one is reading a thriller, the narrator or the main character seems to make the absolute most nonsensical, horrendous decisions that you can imagine for the sake of plot. And I believe that if your character has to be acting like in a totally ridiculous way to make the plot work, bad plot. You know what I mean? So I think the first 2 books in this series had a bad plot, and I think that this book has a better plot. I've still got issues, okay? Because like there's one situation where 2 characters are like snooping around a campsite where there's a bunch of vans parked, like camper vans, and in one of those vans is a character who has a dog, and they're like, these 2 snoops, they're stomping around the woods, they're digging around under stuff, like, and nobody, it's the middle of the night and nobody notices, and the dog also doesn't notice. I just found that to be like a little bit unbelievable. That's where I'm at with the Wilds. I was a little bit worried that this would make me scared to be in my house. I sort of, once we moved here to this cabin in the woods, I was like, I can no longer read cabin in the woods thrillers because I'll be too scared. But this is not doing that to me. Somehow the van versus cabin separation is enough, I guess. I didn't read a single page of Madship. C'est la vie. So I think I'm just gonna wrap this vlog up as soon as I finish the rest of this book, which probably won't be today. I mean tonight, but maybe I could do it tomorrow. I'm gonna have a busy week and then a busy weekend. So if I want to get this vlog out before long time, I need to be finishing this book and posting it. So that's why Madship's not gonna be involved. So sorry. The friends that I'm reading Madship with, 2 of the 3 friends have not yet opened the book, so I think it's okay if I take another week to finish it. And I have loved reading this the same day as Bailey, even if Martine hasn't been able to read it yet. Sorry, Martine. I hope you love all of my comments in our Discord chat. So far, I feel like this has been a phenomenal round of Squash That Series, and I do feel that I'm out of my reading slump. So, patting myself on the back for that. Okay, thanks for listening. Hi. It's been about 5 weeks since Squash That Series ended. And I don't think I ever filmed an outro or a wrap up. If I did, it's gone. So I'm finally going to be posting this. It felt so wild to go back through and think about everything I read and everything that happened that like long weekend of Squash That Series, because most of the yard scenery in that video is gone now. Like the willow tree is gone, the garden's like done. My yard is a construction zone. I filmed a clip in my car, which I have since gotten a new car. Like things are different now. But I did really like those books. And sorry, it's an active construction zone. I want to be very clear about that. So the noise is just how it is now. I finished The Wilds that same night. I finished it on Sunday, the last day of the Squash That Series, at like 11:30. I stayed up late to finish it and loved it. I did also finish Madship, which I'm not going to talk about at all because this video is long enough. But yeah, finished it. So in that way I have completed all of the challenges from this vlog. Thank you for sticking around for this extremely long video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you, Bailey. Huge thank you for making such a fun game and allowing us all to play it together, and honestly creating such a fun little community of people squashing their series. Okay, thank you for watching. Thanks for being here. I hope I'll see you back here next time, whenever there's another video. Catch you later. Okay, bye.